And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Quivs here. Quivs does stuff. Gonna try something that I haven't done. I don't think I've ever done it. I don't know if I've ever done it at all. We're going to try the no evidence challenges on Phasmophobia. In other words, the idea is that I'm not going to use any of the evidence collecting items to try and identify the ghosts. I'm going to try and identify them on behavior. And this is a furthering of my skills again. I know all these things. I haven't experienced them for myself, so I sort of know what I'm doing, but I've never tried to do it. Now, in a lot of these cases, it's going to require a hunt. Like, there's going to be no way to identify it without a hunt. I'm also going to be doing this on super amateur because, well, not super amateur, amateur, the simplest one, just because I need the extra leeway because my skills aren't that good. This is supposed to improve my skills. So we're going to do this on amateur. If it seems too easy and I do too well too often, we will up the difficulty and we'll go to intermediate and maybe go all the way to professional. We'll see. But for now, just going to dive on in and see how we go. My throat is very sore today. I don't know why. We shall see. Maybe it'll kill me, maybe it won't. I don't know where that's from. That's from a joke I had. A joker comedian said that I've been using for years. Every time I have a cough, I always say, oh, maybe it'll kill me, maybe it won't. Anyway, so I'm a little bit under the weather. My voice is not perfect. My throat is sore. I have a nice hot coffee, which is helping. But for those of you that are fans of my channel, you'll know that I will forget my coffee all the time. Right, so we're going to go Tanglewood quite possibly a lot. I will do some other maps. I won't just do Tanglewood. I should actually check OBS and make sure everything is working correctly. I think it is. I will do a few things. I will turn the audio of the game up so that it's easier to hear. And I think I'll leave my mic where it is. Although I should actually put a filter on my mic. It does seem like it's overly loud. Now we'll leave it for now. That should be fine. Alright. Let's bring Twitch back up so I can see if anyone joins. Right, so no evidence items. Now, there are some exceptions. I will be using the UV torch because I'm going to want to use salt to check for footprints for the Wraith. And the only way to check if it leaves footprints is with the UV torch or the glow stick. Now, the problem with the glow stick is if there's fingerprints in the room, it might accidentally illuminate fingerprints. Whereas with the UV torch, I can be directional and make sure I only shine it downwards. So no EMF, no spirit box, no book, no dots, no cameras. Parabolic is fine. I will try to take some photos, but there are a lot of photos that I'm going to want to not take because they might get fingerprints in them and I don't want to get that information. No thermometer, but you cannot avoid freezing breath. So if it is freezing, we will take that piece of evidence as it's freezing to narrow down the ghosts. But there's really no way that I can avoid freezing breath. I can avoid taking the thermometer, but that's not gonna stop me from noticing freezing if I stand in the ghost room for too long. As a result, I will occasionally be using the thermometer if I think if I can't find the ghost room. Now on amateur, I think the ghost has no chance of moving, so it will always stay in the one room. It won't ever change rooms. But if I cannot work out which room that is, I might resort to the thermometer just to find it so that we can move on to ghost behavior afterwards. Candles, smudge sticks, definitely be using those, definitely be using the crucifixes. I might use motion sensors and sound sensors, probably not sound sensors so much, but yeah, we'll see. Now I didn't know, but the objectives that you get are also based on difficulty. So these are relatively easy objectives with the exception of capture a photo of the ghost. That's kind of hard. It's not impossible. If you get a good ghost event and the ghost stands still, you can get a photo. I'll have to be careful with that one. The ghost has the highest priority, but if the ghost happens to disappear just before I take the photo and there's a fingerprint closer to me than the interaction where the ghost was standing, I think I'll get the fingerprint, but we'll just consider that bad luck and you know, try to move on from there. Hopefully I don't accidentally get more than 2 pieces of evidence in any run, i.e. accidentally get fingerprints or accidentally get freezing breath at the same time. But I shouldn't be able to get the others. EMF, technically I can get off the activity shot as well. So we will try not to do that. Or perhaps we will try to do that, because again, that's not direct evidence. You can be fooled by this. I might use it and say, okay, it's not behavior, but it is a bit of practice getting activity, getting EMF using the activity rather than using the actual things. But we'll see how we go. So Susan Anderson, yes, I think we've got everything. No, we've got nothing. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to take this. Now, this isn't so much to help me find the ghost room, but there are ghosts that are more obvious on the Paramic. The Banshee will give itself away entirely. And then there are other ghosts like the Myling that will be super talkative. Right, the lights start on, which is always good. I've already forgotten the ghost name. Hi, Susan. Okay, well that's the ghost photo. It came from around there. But now you're here. I mean, of course you're here. You just finished your ghost event here, so that's, you know, to be expected. But I do need to find your bone and your cursed possession. And that 1 point, oh, that's the cursed possession. At 5.0, is that the camera flash? Okay, I'm already thinking Oni, because that's a lot of ghost events real fast. I do want to see what that does to my sanity. Okay, so it is 10% each one. So we obviously can't do that first thing. But we did get a ghost photo, which is good. So let's have a look at our photos. Okay, apparently that's a 3-star ghost photo, even though you can't see the ghost. Right, now drop the Paramic because I was getting freaked out because that ghost is really busy. But no, actually we'll just go in and pick that up again. It's not that bad. Chill out just because the ghost is super active. I think it's an Oni already, because that's a lot of activity in a very short space of time. I have not identified the ghost room yet. We might play with the music box. There are reasons why I would play with the music box. If I have to go to hunt mechanics to identify this ghost, then we will play with the music box. If I don't have to go to hunt mechanics, is that the bone? Oh no, it's just a weird kink in the carpet. If we don't have to go to hunt mechanics, we won't use the music box at all. It really depends on what kind of evidence this ghost gives me and how long it takes. No bone yet. The breaker is not here, which means it's in the basement, and I reckon the bone must be down there too, because I can't find it anywhere else. There it is. Okay, so that's about all the photos I want to take. Those are the main key photos that one can take without accidentally getting evidence. Okay. So I think it's here. It's either in this corridor or in that bathroom. Wow. I mean, that's super Oni. Like, it's really showing itself continuously. Very active. Okay, that's a whisper, but that's not a banshee or I mean, there's no indication that it's a myling yet, unless it does it all the time. Like if it does it a lot, then we might be looking at a myling. So far, all I've got is this ghost is super active. There is the possibility of a yokai. So I'm talking to you, the ghost can hear me. At least I think it can. I've got push to talk on, but I think that only affects the spirit box. I think otherwise your mic is always open. Other than that, I'm not getting any ghost sound, so I don't know where this ghost actually is. Like, where its room is. I still don't know. I think it might be the foyer. Or the lounge. But I haven't got any confirmation of that. Like that 0.3, that's not really... I mean, this will give me the kitchen and that'll give me the garage. 0.1, maybe it is over there. Susan, where are you? Let's try with actual voice chat. Susan, where are you? Give us a sign. I still don't have any real confirmation on which room the ghost room is. It opened these two doors earlier, but that's because it had just done a ghost event that ended here, which means the ghost was physically here at the time. So it interacted with two of the close things immediately afterwards. So Oni is pretty high possibility. But I could also totally believe a yokai, like okay, that 2.3, that's an actual thing. So, was it a ghost event? It was a ghost event. God damn, I didn't turn my torch off for ages, then I was dead. Also, the cupboards and stuff were open, so I shouldn't have done that. That was a bad place to hide. I would have just died there. Alright, Oni or yokai? That's the vibes I'm getting. I don't know where it is. Yokai because of the talking, like it's reacting when talking. And Oni just because it might just be a crazy Oni who's just super active. What else can I do? I can put salt down, but I don't know where it is, so... How the hell do you find a ghost? Susan, where are you? Can you give us a sign? Susan? Was Susan? Cool. I thought I had the name wrong again. Wow. So I don't think it matters whether you look at it anymore. I think it's all about being touched. I better actually go check that. Because there could be indications of things like Ure, which can drain your sanity. Now again, it's acted then when I spoke. Yeah, I don't think that drained more than 5%. So that doesn't look like any special abilities happened. Oh, you can light a candle like that. I didn't know. I was actually just wondering. So this candle has preserved my sanity. Yeah, okay. So I think it's the utility room. Now I've sort of got something. That's another very quick whisper. It's either the utility room or possibly the kitchen. Wow. Okay, my sanity is actually now getting close to hunting range for every ghost. Don't know if a yokai can hunt early if you're talking. I think it can. I want to spend a little bit longer before the hunt starts, so I'm going to take some pills. Yeah, see, like a real pro guy would probably have this worked by now. They would just know. Yeah, this is this. Whereas I'm still like, this could be a myling because it's spoken on the paramic a lot. It could be an oni because it's super active. It could be a yokai because I'm talking near it. And then it's doing stuff. Oh, great. Now I'm still not sure if that's kitchen or utility room. Susan, you want to give us a sign, please? Ah, man, that could have been anywhere. Got to stop swinging the paramic around so fast. You've got to do it really slowly. So you sort of got to point it at one room and just wait. And if you get nothing, point it at another room and just wait. Might be the kitchen. Susan, are you here? Susan Anderson, where are you? See, again, the pro guys, they would already have the room. Probably, anyway. I don't even have the room yet. Not for sure. Okay, could be kitchen, since it just blew out the candle and then spoke. Once again, it's kind of myling-ish. There's a lot of talking. It's a lot of talking. It's really common. I would have to get hunted to really check. That's a lot of talking. I mean, it could be random chance, but that's a lot. That was like 15 seconds between them. Don't you touch me. How did you still touch me? You're on the other side of the counter. That's not fair. You're not allowed to cheat like that. Okay, so now it's here in the kitchen because it just finished its event in the kitchen. So let's see the talks again. So I don't think it's worth doing the salt test for this one because I don't think this is going to be a wraith. I mean, no, I don't think it's teleported to me. I think they were ghost events. Okay, I definitely heard a footstep over there, so it's in the dining room at the moment. I don't know whether that was a blow the candle out or a random candle go out, because they do eventually go out on their own. I think it'd be nice if that left an obvious sound, like even like say a 2 or something. Or maybe even if you were pointing the paramic at it, you could actually hear the ghost blow it out. Yeah, okay, so now I'm not getting anything, but I don't know where the ghost is. Still hear some... That's another... Okay. And now it's blown out the candle. Not inclined to believe it's an Onryo, because an Onryo would have probably hunted by now. Alright, I'm gonna go and get some... Gonna get a smudge stick for a start, and I'm gonna get some motion sensors. So we can maybe watch it walk around. Now, don't think it's a spirit. Don't think that's a wraith. There's nothing about the wraith that sort of indicates that it's a wraith. I don't think it's a phantom because we looked at it for a long time and nothing really happened. Hasn't thrown anything. I don't think I've seen it throw a single thing yet. We've heard a lot of talking and no banshee scream. There's nothing to indicate that it's not a djinn. Okay, a mare, one of the things a mare does is they actually move away from rooms where the lights are on. So if they will either turn the lights off all the time, or they will actually move away, they will wander from rooms where the lights are on to rooms where the lights are off. It's not doing that. Nothing to indicate it's not a revenant. It's a bit too active to be a shade, so I wouldn't say shade. Nothing to really indicate that it's not a demon, except that it could have hunted me by now. We've got to be outside of the what's his name period. I think a demon, especially a demon that's been this active by now, would have actually triggered a hunt. I was at 60 for a while as well, so yeah, probably would have hunted. I haven't seen any extra large... Ooh, coffee burp. Extra large drops of sanity that would indicate a Ure. It has been very active, but again, I haven't seen it throw anything either. So it could be an Oni, it could be a yokai because I've talked near it and it's become very active around where I was talking. I don't actually know if that's a thing. Does talking near a yokai get the yokai to be more active, or does it only increase its chance of an attack? Nothing to indicate that it is or isn't a hand to, except freezing temperatures. We don't have freezing temperatures. Goryo, it's wondered. No, it hasn't. It hasn't really wondered. It's teleported for ghost events. That's not the same thing. It has kind of wondered because a Goryo is supposed to really stick to its room. And even wandering, for example, from the kitchen to the dining room to the utility room to the lounge, because that corridor piece just in front of the door to the basement, that's considered the living room. So it's wandered a little bit. Miling. It's been making a lot of talking. My guess at the moment would be miling because of the amount of talking that it's doing. On Rio, it did blow out the candle a lot there for a while. And I don't think my sanity was low enough for it on Rio to attack. I think it has to be like 85% or 75%. See, I don't even know that one. But for it to be an on Rio, I did blow out the candles. Twins, I didn't see any indication of the twins. There hasn't been any twin events. No two things happening at the same time. Not much of that happening. There's nothing to indicate that it's not a Raiju. There's nothing to indicate that it's not an Obake, and there's nothing to indicate that it's not a mimic pretending to be other ghosts. So all I've got at the moment is strong evidence that I would say this is probably a miling because of the amount of talking that it's done. Didn't check my sanity. Let's see if my sanity's dropped. by any special amounts? No, not really. One ghost event's worth, really. It's pretty much all we've had there. So I'm inclined to believe Myling, but I have no idea. Now, to finalize this, do I then get out the evidence equipment and actually check, or do I just call it and hope I got it right? I'm going with 2 candles because if this is an Onryo, the second candle will actually prevent it from hunting. I can't have everything in my hands at once. I mean, that's really Oni-like. The way it's doing that a lot. So many events, so often. Did I just see Freezy Breath? I did. Okay, so it is a freezing ghost. And it's just blown out 2 candles. Is it an Onryo? Or is it just blowing out candles to be annoying? Or is it an Oni and it's doing stuff? Alright. Now I'm freaking out. What is this? Super active. So yokai, doing stuff around me. I mean, those could be EMF 5. So we do have freezing breath. So let's put that in and eliminate anything that isn't freezing. Well, we've taken the Myling out. So I would say Oni or Onryo because it keeps messing with the flames. Let's get the ghost to walk through salt anyway, just because, I've got too many things. I'm going to give up on that because the Myling's out, and I think the Banshee's out. Banshee's out, so that's not going to get me anywhere. Could take photos of these, I'm not going to bother. I'm literally just going to throw some salt on the ground and have it walk on it. Could be an Onryo. Playing with the candles a lot. Alright, that's nice. You stay there. I'm going to go over here. Don't know where to put the other one, really. There. Alright. So it's got that Oni thing going for it where it's super active. It blew out a lot of candles in quick succession. Now that could be an Oni, that could be an Onryo. Those could be random, I'm not sure. Might be an Oni. It's too active. Might be an Onryo because it's really working those candles. Alright, so the Onryo thing is when it gets to hunt range. Oh, I shouldn't have brought the damn smudge stick out. Now I don't have a free hand. That's not great. Sanity stayed the same, that's cool. Still hasn't stepped in the salt yet. Oh no, it might have stepped in the salt now. So the Onryo thing is, that's an Oni. That's got to be an Oni. It's just too active. I think it's blowing out the candles by chance because it's doing Oni things. But the sheer amount of events. So many ghost events. So, and on Rio, we'll use the candles, not the crucifix. Okay, so now it has stepped in the thing. Stop it, Susan. Leave me alone. Ah, I ran into you. You doubled back. All right, I'm going to go Oni on this one. I'm going to smudge it because it's being a little prick. I'm going to call Oni, and we're going to go and we're going to see if the massive amount of interactions that we had, well, not just interactions, but actual events, really, really large amount of events, indicates Oni. So that would be my guess here on no evidence, is that this one was an Oni. Let's find out. If we get it wrong, let's try and figure out how we were wrong. On Rio. So the blowing out the candles was the thing. The candles was the big one, was the kicker. You see what I mean? Like, I should have stuck around to get hunted. I should have waited to be hunted to see if it was the candles, and if by keeping the candles lit, I could prevent a hunt, even if my sanity was super low. That's what I should have done. Okay. Let's go again. Because we didn't really learn anything. Well, we sort of learned one thing. We learned that avoiding being hunted possibly isn't the way to do this. You might just have to get hunted. Blow out a candle, crucifix, capture photo. Patricia Thomas. So again, I'm going to go camera parabolic in case we get that thingy straight off the bat. Banshee scream straight off the bat. It's always a possibility. I've already forgotten the ghost name again. Patricia. Find us the bonus. I don't know what cursed items normally hide. That 0.5 is suspicious. Yeah. It's not how you walk in a straight line. The fuck is that noise? I was gonna say, is that cutlery? That's cutlery. 2 pieces of cutlery. So that's a bit twin-like. It's either through multiple things. So we're still looking for the item. We've got our bone though. Summon in circle. Summon in circle. So unless we get a ghost photo, we're pretty much done with the camera. So I'm going to get rid of that. I mean, that wasn't me. Could have been me throwing the camera down. Patricia, are you here? Patricia, can you give us a sign? Do I need to... Patricia, where are you? Keep forgetting I've got push to talk on. I might need push to talk to actually interact with the ghost, I'm not sure. But I think that in single player the idea is the mic is always open for the purposes of you have to be quiet when hiding from the hunts. Now I'm getting nothing. But we definitely had stuff thrown on the table because that's not where that fork's supposed to be, and I think there'll be a knife somewhere on the ground here. I think there's normally more cutlery than that on the table. And it did seem like we had 2 throws. So the indications... Now I wish I had my camera still. Where did I leave it? On the table, okay. So it could be a poltergeist, the way it might have thrown multiple things. Let's go check what that did to our sanity. That was a single ghost event, so it should be about 10%, minus a little bit for walking around in the dark, etc., etc. So if we're around the 85 or higher, that's where we should be. Yeah, like 90% or higher. So that did almost nothing. Oh, I do have to get a photo of the ghost. All right, we will try and get that to happen. All right, let's... Got 2 free hands. Let's get some candles in there. And we'll bring the parabolic mic back later. So I think it's dining room. And it's a pretty good indication that it's not going to turn out to be a shade. I'll take the free candle because why not? Because it can blow out that candle as well. Ah, there's a fork. That's a big throw. Who throws really far? Onis? Which ghost has the strong throw? One ghost has a strong throw, and I think it's Oni. Moving objects at great speed. Yeah, so they've got the Gigi Yeet, where they throw things really far. Oh, I should leave the lighter in there and take more candles at a time. Oh well. But yeah, we'll give it the opportunity to blow out lots of candles. By giving it lots of candles, it's just increases your chances. Assuming I've got the right room. Might not have the right room. But I did seem to throw things from the dining room table. Now, I heard more than one thing move, and that fork's definitely been moved as well. So that might be poltergeist. It might have thrown multiple objects. Might be twins, because it might have thrown 2 things at once. Take one of them in, and... Damn, okay, only 1 free hand, that was dumb. Take that in to have. We'll just grab this in case it decides to play with the car. It hasn't yet. And I don't think it's in the right room for it, but we'll have it. Alright, grab a crucifix, because I think that's an objective. So there's something I wouldn't have expected. Prevent the ghost from hunting with a crucifix on amateur. We did choose amateur, right? Pretty sure we chose amateur. And yet, we've got prevent the ghost from hunting with a crucifix objective. Strange. I think the escape a ghost while it's hunting is one of the more advanced ones, and prevent the ghost from hunting with a crucifix is still an amateur hour. Turned a light off. That's slightly marish. Okay, it has blown out a candle, maybe, I don't actually know. Because mares will only turn lights off. It's definitely... It's freezing in the kitchen. Is it freezing in the dining room? Oh, I don't know where it was, and I didn't have my camera. Now I do. Okay, now you just threw something again, but I didn't see what it was. Oh, and it's throwing a lot of things. It's only throwing 1 thing at a time, though. And it's blowing out candles like mad. Can't be an Onryo, can it? Do we still have the bug where the ghost, a kitchen ghost spends most of its time in the dining room and a dining room ghost spends most of its time in the kitchen? Because it's freezing in the kitchen and everything that's happening is happening in the dining room. Although that being said, it's blowing out a lot of candles. Do we have another Onryo? sure, with all the stuff that it's thrown as well. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to throw there, so I don't need to give it any more. It is really, really blowing out those candles. Ah, just got an interaction photo by accident. Damn it, only 1 star too. Really wanted the ghost photo. Couldn't get the damn camera out in time. Alright, that's pretty low sanity now. Let's go check. It's been a bit active. So it's thrown a lot of things. I think I've heard 2 things being thrown in very close proximity to each other. Like real close. My sanity's still fine. Which could be an Onryo. Let me keep the camera so I can try and get that ghost photo. Try again. And I mean, it was being very aggressive with the candles, like blowing out a lot of candles. Where are you? Couldn't find it. I think I need another crucifix to put here in the kitchen. Stop throwing things now as well. Now, as sanity control, I can light the candles on the summoning circle and get hunted. I believe that'll take me to very low sanity. If I light like 4 of the candles, just don't light the 5th, that'll take me to, I think, that should take me to 0. Because it's like 20% a candle. It might be 15% a candle. I think they changed it. So I could light 4 candles and see what the ghost does. Really does not like these candles. Could be an Onryo. Okay, I'm going to lower my sanity. I'm going to light 4 candles. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then walk away. Now I'm going to go check my sanity because I'm not sure if it's 15 or 20%. I think it's 20% per candle, which should have taken me to 0 because I was at 80. Got the smudge stick. Okay, so it must be 15. But now I'm super low sanity. So now if it really wants to hunt, I've got 2 crucifixes. If it uses the crucifix while candles are lit, it's an Onryo. Oh, I don't think I've got enough candles. It is really blowing out those candles. Because I need candles in both rooms. Okay, it should be way more active now. It's used the whole crucifix already. It is not an Onryo. It has used a whole crucifix. The hell uses a whole crucifix that fast? It didn't blow out the candles to do that unless it used that whole crucifix before. I'm gonna say it's not an Onryo. So now what have we got? Spirit. Wraith. Phantom. I looked at it for ages and it didn't drop my sanity. Poltergeist. Might have thrown multiple things. Banshee probably would have weakened my sanity by now. Jinn probably would have weakened my sanity by now. Meh. It has turned lights off. It hasn't turned lights on. That might have only turned lights off as a result of events. Revenant, nothing to say it's not a rev. It's too active to be a shade. Could be a demon. I don't think the demon's weakness to crucifix, that used to be the banshee's weakness to crucifix, I don't think it's that, because I think that crucifix is just well placed in the kitchen, and basically it's close enough to that crucifix that I just used the crucifix because that's where the crucifix is. Uray. Haven't seen any special sanity effects. It has been very active and it has thrown things. That spoon or fork, there was one that was really far from the table. Could be an Oni again. Chance of being a yokai, nothing to indicate that it's a Hantu. We do have freezing breath. Let's put that in. Again, we can't help but get it, so who can it be? Could still be a mimic, could be mimicking something. I would say out of these, Oni, on Rio, still maybe the demon, because I mean it used a whole crucifix in a very short amount of time. The demon has the shortest cooldown between hunts, as well as being able to hunt at the highest sanity, like it can hunt at 100% as a special. Other than that, I haven't really ruled anything out yet. So let's get hunted and see if we find anything out. Yeah, it used that whole crucifix already. And that one. I reckon it's a demon. Now I'm inclined to believe it is a demon. It could have just hunted from the lounge, dining room. It could have actually just been over in the dining room. But otherwise, where that crucifix is placed, if it's a demon, the size of the crucifix area that's covered would still cover most of the kitchen. So if it tried to hunt from the kitchen, that second crucifix would be used up slowly as well. Could be a mimic mimicking a demon at the moment. Were the candles still on? Why won't my torch turn off? Oh, because you can't turn your torch off with T when you've got your torch out. Silly person. I have no idea. The candles are out now. Oh, that one's locked. No, it's not. Alright, so I don't know. Okay, the time between footsteps there was really long, but it was too long. Like, it wasn't Revenant walking around long. It was almost like it was turning corners so fast that it wasn't doing footsteps. But it could have been a Revenant, because it could have been that I'm walking so slowly that I'm only going thump, thump, thump. But that doesn't seem right. On Hantu definitely would have been fast, because if it started near the kitchen, it's cold in the kitchen. On Rio, could still be a mimic. Oni, Jin, not a Shade. Shade's probably the only one that's absolutely removed. Revenant or Demon is where I'm going to lean on this one, and I'll probably be wrong. It did blow out a lot of candles, but again, that could just be an Oni doing stuff in the room because there were candles to play with. It played with the candles. It was super active again. Could have been walking really slowly, but I'm just not sure. And it still hasn't used that other half of that crucifix, which means it's probably not the demon, because if it's hunting from the kitchen, then the demon would have used up that crucifix first. So Oni, maybe Revenant because of how slow it was, maybe Onryo because it's blowing out all the candles. How the hell do people do this? Like, I'm at a loss now. I don't know what this is. I'm tempted to go to 100% sanity and find out, so I don't waste my time and money. Let's see if we can get another hunt. And we'll just listen for it. I did forget to mute my microphone last time, but truck went. Ghost event. So a truck. I think that was just another ghost event. Forgot my mic was muted. Where are you? How old are you? What do you want? Where are you? How old are you? What do you want? Where are you? How old are you? What do you want? Where are you? How old are you? What do you want? Alright, unless the ghost is not here at the moment, I think that's a no. Look at that crucifix, baby. That's cool. Here's a... Where's it freezing? Here. Alright, well there's a book. That was cool. And it's, again, throwing things, but not... I don't think that was multiple things. I think that was just one. Alright, you're spending more time over there. There's a book. I have to know. What is it? How is it eluding me? What have I missed? What part of this evidence should I have picked up on that would have indicated to me that it was this ghost? How do the pro guys do this? This is so hard. They seem to like work out what ghost it is every time without fail. There's an orb. So you are a kitchen ghost. No, now I wish I had the thing. So we've got freezing, we've got orbs. Let's see if we get dots. We haven't got ghost writing yet. No, let's put this back in the kitchen. Let's do this. Freezing and orbs could still be a mimic. Otherwise, some of these are possible on Rio. Could be that on Rio. Maybe all those candles. We got 2 on Rios in a row. Maybe it was all those candles, and that's what we were looking at. Probably better in that view. I'd be more likely to see the dots. Fingerprints. EMF. Might just leave that there. Leave that there. Go and grab a lighter and a smudge stick. In case it's still a demon. No, can't be a demon, because either those ghost orbs are real or it's a mimic. Those are the 2 options there. So it can't be a demon. So I think my summation that the demon not using that crucifix and hunting from the kitchen was correct. Maybe. Haven't seen any dots. Haven't seen any fingerprints. Hasn't written in the book. Was this Susan? No, this is Patricia. Patricia, can I get you to do something for me, please? Anything. Patricia, can you give us a sign? Where are you? What did it just do? something here. I don't actually know what it was, but it's EMF2. Patricia, can you give us a sign? Like book writing. What the frick's the book? Oh, yeah, there. There's my camera. I might as well take that photo. All right. Whoops. It's not actually what I wanted to do. That'll be a really bad photo. Oh, well, still counts. So we've definitely got book writing, which I think Mimic cannot do. Ghosts, the Mimic. Yep, Mimics cannot write in the book, which means that ghost orb is real, which means it was a revenant. So that slow walking that I thought I heard was slow walking. How very surprising. Do those stay lit? They don't. So let's see if we can hear it again. That should have shot my sanity again. I'm just going to hang around in this cupboard, wait for the hunt. With the smudge stick. Of course I'll mute you. That does not sound that slow. But we've got ghost writing, we've got freezing, and we've got the ghost orb. It's got to be a revenant. There can't be anything else. There's the orb. We've definitely got those pieces of evidence. There's like no doubt that that is the evidence that we've accumulated. But it just doesn't sound slow enough. There were several times then when there were steps really close together. I'm going to go for one more. Let's try that one more time. Breaker's off now. Wasn't a hunt. I'm right on the ball to turn my microphone off just in case. So what we really want to do here is listen to it walking around during the hunt. Listen to the spacing between the steps. So what I think it is I'm confusing the grace period. So during the grace period, it might move at the same speed as every other ghost. Because the hunts are so short, like I'm not really getting a good indication. So it might be that grace period, because the grace period is pretty long in amateur. So the grace period, it might walk around at the speed of a normal ghost so that it can wander far from its spawn point or get away from its spawn point real quick and then hunt from there, and then it goes buh, 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 Very interesting. So that is a Revenant. Would not have expected that to be a Revenant. I had all the info. I had those very slow steps, but I think I'd misinterpreted something. So now again, we've learned something new. This time, I think we've learned that I believe the Revenant moves at the same speed as every other ghost during the what's-his-face? During the grace period. That one also took us a long time. All right, one more. Let's try it again. We are an amateur. Good, I did have to actually check that. Let's also... Long setup time, long hunt grace period, short hunt duration, sanity pills, and regain half year. Okay, so just to double check that I've got the rules right and I'm not misinterpreting the rules of amateur as well. Motion sensor. Oh, we haven't done that. EMF can't do that. Witness a ghost event. We'll probably do that. Daniel Jones. Lag. There we go. All right, that and that. Because if it's a Banshee, we can find it early. But otherwise, we want to get ourselves that bone photo. We've had nice weather as well, which has been good. We want to get ourselves the bone photo and the cursed item photo. Okay, that was a door. That one. So I believe on amateur all the doors start open. So I think it's here in this utility. No voodoo doll, no bone here. I didn't really check for the bone. I did a run to try and find where that noise was. So now I've got to go back to looking for the bone and looking for the cursed object. Tarot cards. Was this that you touched? Bone? No. Let's flip them into the wall without actually throwing them off the wall. That's very interesting. Didn't know it could really do that. Oh, tarot cards, yep. So, but we still haven't got a bone yet, so... Bone. That is the bone. Bone. Where are you hiding your bone? In the nursery. 9. Where are you hiding the bone? Yeah, it's either lounge or like next to the lounge. Where are you hiding the bone? I think it can be under the car. It can be on the car. Is it on the car? Here's me trying to jump by hitting space. Good one. It's pushing those pictures further and further into the wall. I don't have a bone. Doesn't appear to be a bone. Without bone. Sans bone. I mean, that's about as thorough a look for the bone as I can do, and I didn't see the bone. I've checked and rechecked. This ghost is all over the place. Where are you? I really thought you were in the lounge. Because look what you did to those pictures. Could be utility room. That could be why I'm getting them. Yeah, there's a ghost step. So it's over here in the kitchen or the utility room. So let's stand in the kitchen and go this way and see if it's the utility room. Yeah. That one. Or is it the kitchen? No. It's the utility room. It turned the light off. That is a possible indication of a mare. No bone. I think I'm just going to have to accept the loss. No bone. There just isn't a bone in this one. Weird. Right, so it's turned the light off. It hasn't turned any lights on. It was very active when we first walked into the house. Did a lot of stuff. Our sanity is where it should be, or approximately where I would believe it should be. Let's get some motion sensors in and see if we can see how much it walks around. I don't know if that's too high. Oh, it's in there, all right. Hasn't made any noises like screams or anything. It's all been footsteps and activity. It's triggered a motion sensor. So it's walked into the garage now. Possibly came back already. Because we've already got another footstep. Might be in the garage now, yeah. Ooh. Triggered the motion sensor, so it's probably back in here now. Alright, so I'm not getting anything else off the motion sensors. I'm just getting it walking around. I'm inclined to believe that takes out Goryo. Because the amount, it's moved backwards and forwards between rooms enough that I think, yeah. Oh, now it's in the kitchen. Wasn't expecting it to walk all the way out, but apparently it did. All right, I'm gonna take another two. No, I don't really need another two. Let's, I'm gonna do this. So now I have to make sure I don't accidentally shine on the doors. I wanna see if there's footprints. I don't wanna see if there's fingerprints. I don't wanna see it by accident. Can you step in the salt, please? Surely you want to come back into the kitchen or go back into the... There you go. Nope, definite footprints. So we are... I'm going to take just a couple. That'll do. I reckon I got those. Let's find out. Only one. That's alright. So we know it's not a wraith. That's what we've established. Now, as these things go, that's a bit of a weird one because I did use an evidence item to get it. But like there's no other way to test for wraith without looking for direct evidence, which is, you know, the looking for these bits of evidence. Without using a UV light. So that one's always arguable whether you've actually looked for evidence by using an evidence item. It is definitely walking backwards and forwards between rooms commonly enough that I would say it's not a Goryo. Haven't seen a ghost event. It's been reasonably active, but not crazy. I got nothing except this is not a wraith. And I would say not a banshee or a myling either, and not a Goryo. So I haven't got a lot here. I've got very, very little. What was our item? Tarot cards. Play with the tarot cards. Hi. He doesn't want me to play with the tarot cards. I think that was a warning. Don't you dare play with the tarot cards. Those are really important to me. Didn't do anything special to my sanity. It lowered my sanity, but not by any appreciable amount that I would consider, you know, out of the ordinary. And now he's in the lounge. So again, the thing I learned about tarot cards is don't play with the tarot cards. So let's play with the tarot cards in this cupboard. That's right. I'm going to do it from a point of safety because I'm not crazy. Knowing my luck, I'll draw a hanged man immediately. Okay. Those footstep sounds were very ordinary. Sanity's still where it should be. They sounded the right length apart, so that was not an indicator of Hantu or Revenant. So I would say it's neither of those. It's not a Wraith. Don't think it's a Myling. My sanity's still too high for anything else as well. Can I learn anything else from the cards? Not really. Turn the breaker off. No. candle. Ooh, it blew the candle out. I think I'm in hunting range of a Goryo on Rio. But that is only a percentage chance to hunt. And it slowly gets higher and higher, and I can't remember how or why it gets higher and higher. I don't think there's anything stopping this from being on Rio though. And there's not a lot to interact with in that room, so it's going to turn the lights off and it's going to blow out candles because it has nothing else to do. Could give it some stuff to do. Now, any hunt that does happen now is going to be a cursed hunt. Both candles. Give it some other things to do. See if the candles go out again. Still really doesn't like those candles. Could be an Unrio. Because that'd piss a mayor off. Now he's got nowhere to go except these rooms. Like he's got to go really far. Could be a mayor. He's turned that off so he's got somewhere to go. Candles are now staying lit. He's playing with doors. So it might have just been chance. I don't think there's anything stopping this from being a mimic either. That could have been a chance candle. bugger, I had it on mute the entire time. All right, sorry. That hunt, there was nothing abnormal about the hunt except for my sanity, which was really low. I don't know how my sanity got so low. It was low. I don't know how we got there. Maybe something did a special. But what just happened inside the house when I came running outside straight away, I smudged because I wanted to use the smudge stick. I turned on the light to the dining room and the ghost immediately turned it off. Now that is something that the mayor is supposed to do on a rare occasion. You used to be able to just spam turn on and off a light. And eventually when you turn on a light, the ghost will just turn it off, which indicates a mayor. They've lowered the chance for that to happen, but it is still something that a mayor will do. You'll turn on a light and a mayor will just immediately turn it off. A mayor will also wander from rooms to rooms that are dark because it doesn't like standing in the light if it doesn't have to. It can early hunt because it can hunt at 60% if you're in the dark. Now I wasn't in the dark, but I was below 40. Like I had low sanity for some reason. I'm inclined to believe that it flicking the light switch was not an accident. I don't know for sure. Do I go back in and mess about? I'll tell you what, we're at 100% sanity. Let's get the evidence. Let's prove this is a mare. I think it's a mare. What are we looking for? Spirit box, ghost orb, and ghost writing. Spirit box, ghost writing. Yep, the light's off in its room, just as I would expect. Although it's just moved out of its room. Where are you? How old are you? Ooh. Spirit box. I've lined that up with a spirit box, so I should be able to see it, and there should be a ghost orb in there. So we'll grab a camera on a tripod real quick. Now it can hunt from 60% from a dark room because it's a mare, if it's a mare. So this is not normally part of the no evidence challenge, but because I'm doing this as a practice thing, like to learn better to identify ghosts when they give themselves away with indirect evidence, mind if that one was on as well. We're going to validate. We're just going to go in and we're going to say, all right, is it what I thought it was because of the one piece of evidence that I got, which was, okay, there's no orbs. Uh-oh. Nope, that was an orb. It's just off camera, it's too high. There it is. Yep, so we got spirit box, we got ghost orbs, and we haven't got ghost writing yet. So I might go give him another book. And take everything else out of there. What is my sanity? Because it is a mare and can early hunt. Cool, we're fine. So I'm going to take everything else out that isn't a ghost writing book. Damn camera's in the way. I'm just going to put this here because it's in the way. It might not really be far enough, but because it can play with things through the walls. But anyway, maybe we'll get lucky. I'm going to leave the light off because that would mean it would be inclined to stay in there, because that's the dark room now. Every other room has lights on. Every other room around it has lights on, so it's not going to be happy. I could smudge it again. Could definitely throw a crucifix in there to keep safe as well. But yeah, at the moment we're just literally waiting for it to write in a book. So I might set the cameras up so they can see the books, and then we can just watch from the van for that to happen. But yeah, almost certainly a mare. Highly unlikely to be anything else at this point. Unless that was just freezing breath. The hell? Okay, there's freezing breath and it's in the kitchen, which is also wrong. It's not a mare. Which just goes to show that getting that evidence when you turn a light switch on and the ghost immediately turns it off is random, and it is quite possible that it's not a mare. So what we have there is direct evidence of an Onryo. I.e. we've got all the evidence and it's an Onryo. So when I played with the candles before, that was Onryo. I don't think I've got a lighter in here. I do not. So direct Onryo evidence, and I missed it. So that early hunt was an Onryo hunt. I don't know whether it was early or not, but it was an Onryo hunt because it was related to the candles. I didn't think it was, but clearly it was actually related to the candles. So again, we are learning so much, and most of it is that I'm bad at this game, which is something that I thought, but was hoping wasn't the case. So it should blow those out quickly because it hates them. Also, I should have noticed it hasn't been afraid to wander into rooms that are lit. I thought maybe it was just doing it by happenstance, but it has wandered into the garage, which is lit, and it has wandered into the kitchen, which is lit. So it's not afraid of the dark at all. So the only thing pissing it off should be those candles. Where is my camera? Might as well. Fingerprints? The hell? It's a mimic? That's not even an Onryo. It's freezing, spirit box, and fingerprints. So now, that is the most frustrating thing imaginable. Without evidence, there is absolutely 0% chance I would have got this ghost. Nothing, no indication. I would never have known. I would have thought mare on the basis of that light flick. Maybe I thought Onryo earlier on the basis of the candle thing. There's been no other indications that it's any other kind of ghost. If I had not tried to take that interaction photo, I never would have known there were fingerprints. And the other evidence we got is fingerprints, freezing, spirit box, and we saw ghost orbs, which is the indication of the mimic, because the ghost orbs is the fake one that it leaves. How in the world do the pros do no evidence challenges? This is impossible. There's no way I would have got a mimic. There's no chance in hell I would have picked a mimic at any point during this. There was nothing to say that's a mimic. I haven't seen it do other things that are other ghostly either. Which just goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, that I might have put a lot of hours into this game. I think I've got like 200 hours or 100 hours or something. How many hours do I have? I know it's a lot. 216 hours. And I am amateur as hell at this game. I'm playing on amateur and I'm trying to establish ghosts just by their behavior, and we not only haven't got one right, we've been fooled again and again. In this case, by a frickin' mimic. I mean, admittedly, the mimic is going to be one of the hardest ghosts to... Well, it should be one of the easiest ghosts to establish by behavior, because you should see its behavior change. And we didn't do that. I got nothing. Like, I've got no... It's just one. The mimic won, basically. I'm going to count that as a loss. I'm going to count that so much as a loss, I'm going to pick another ghost and let the mimic win. Well done, mimic. You have absolutely destroyed us. Bloody hell. The mimic wins. Well done, mimic. That was excellent. That was so well played that, you know, I got nothing. I learned nothing. What was I supposed to do? Play with another hunter. Alright, I might do that later on. We'll see. Yeah. Very, very disappointing. She's still up there? She's still up there, which means she's still there as well. I'm not going to go and do that one because it's just annoying. Right. So what did we learn today, ladies and gentlemen? We learned that I cannot use behavior alone to establish a ghost. In addition to evidence, I can use some behaviors if they're super obvious. Like, there are some things that are super obvious. Like, if you get the wraith no footsteps, it's a mimic or a wraith. If you get one other piece of evidence, like, I can't actually off the top of my head think what a wraith can have that a mimic can't have. But if you get that, then you're like, it's a wraith because it can't be a mimic. Things like the Onryo, I can't be sure about the candles. I can't be sure when the candles were blown out and the ghost hunted because of the candles. I can't be sure if the ghost is using candles instead of crucifixes. I'm not sure. I got screwed over by a mare. Like, maybe it's a mare. It flicked the light switch, but that was a mimic. So the mimic throws a spanner into the works whenever you're doing behavior only, because you have to see it do at least two ghosts kind of behavior. I stopped using the parabolic microphone. Maybe I should have kept using the parabolic microphone. Maybe I might have heard the banshee scream and gone, well, it can't be a banshee. There's no way it's a banshee. But probably I would have gone, oh, it's a banshee, and left. So, yeah, 216 hours in, most of that single player, some of it multiplayer. I've been playing since very early in the game's release. I've come up through all the patches. I've played through all the changes in the game, and I'm trying real hard, and I am not progressing like some of these pro guys do. But then again, like Insim, what is he, level 7,500 now? 7.2, I don't know. He's over 7,000, level 7,000. That's a lot of Phasmophobia. That's like, but I mean, he plays for 4 hours every day, basically, at least. And then I believe he still plays beyond that as well. And then there's other people like Psycho who, he does science within the game. So he spends ages establishing little facts, testing one fact. Is this true? And he'll go and test it. And as a result of that, he spends hours in the game and he sees a lot of other things as well. And he's like, oh, there's another thing I'll put on my list. I've got to test that later. And so he establishes all these little facts about the game and learns little things. But those ghosts had me. Like that Revenant, I didn't know, and I'm inclined to believe that this is a fact, that Revenants during the grace period move as fast as every other ghost, and then Revenants during the actual hunting phase move really slowly if they don't have eyes on target. So the only other ghost that would move that slow is the Hantu in a warm room. The Breaker was on the entire time. I was not convinced that was actually slow walking, because there were times when I heard two footsteps close to each other, but that could be the grace period, because in amateur the grace period is really long. Any other major cool takeaways? The Mimic is a pain in the butt. Relying on evidence on behavior alone is a challenge, and that's why it's called the no evidence challenge, and that's why people that play it call it the no evidence challenge, because it's a super challenge. That is why Nightmare is so hard, because you really need to get some behavior to go along with your 2 pieces of evidence, because you only get 2 pieces of evidence unless it's a mimic, at which point it gives itself away. There are other things that give ghosts away in Nightmare. For example, the Abake will give itself away if you get the 6-fingered fingerprints, and it has to leave fingerprints if it's an Abake. The Onryo has to leave dots and will give itself away if, for example, people are watching the dots from the other room and they don't see dots, but you see it on the camera in the van or while holding a camera, because that still works. Then the Goryo, gives itself away. But yeah, mostly in Nightmare with 2 pieces of evidence. You need 2 pieces of evidence and to see some ghostly behavior to go, all right, that's an Onryo, that's a mimic, that's a mimic, no. Yeah, the mimic obviously does the thing. The twins. You need to get hunted most of the time. Like when you've only got 2 pieces of evidence or no pieces of evidence, if you're trying for, or 1 piece of evidence max, if you've got freezing breath, if you're trying to do the no evidence challenge, you need to get behavior, and unless you get a really obvious piece of behavior that happens outside of hunts, you need to get hunted to see if that behavioral tell that the ghost has is during the hunt. And that is the only way to do it. And it is difficult. I intend to continue with this, but what normally stops me and what's been stopping me recently is that it's really freaking hot in this room, because Phasmophobia uses my graphics card hard. I don't know why. It's not hugely graphically intensive. But anyway, it is using my graphics card a lot. You might even be able to hear it. I don't know. It uses a fair bit of my CPU, so my computer heats up like crazy. I'm in this tiny little room, which is very small. You can hear the echo. I still haven't got any sound dampening in here to get rid of all that echo. I need to do something about it. I tried some filters on my microphone, and that didn't work. It just made me impossible to hear, which was annoying. I need to get more furniture in here. That'll probably sort it out quicker than anything else. Or a giant fish tank. I don't want a giant fish tank. It's too expensive to run, and so on and so forth. But the water does dampen sound a lot. But yeah, enough about that. It's hot. So I'm going to be ending the stream there. It is still like a good hour and 45 minutes worth of Phasmophobia. There's some stuff to watch there. Maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't. Maybe you were entertained, maybe you weren't. If you're over on YouTube and you were entertained, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more of my content, and change your notification settings by hitting the bell icon, because it is super random when I go live. I went on a hiatus recently where I was gone for like a month. But now I'm back and I'm trying to stream, as often as I can, which is at least once a day, sometimes twice a day if you're lucky. If you're over on Twitch, similar sort of thing, hit that follow button. That's the one that helps me out the most over there. And if you want to change your notification settings, you've got to do it from your profile under your channels that are followed, and then you can change your notification settings. Actually, I'm not even sure if that's it. I just think that's where it is. I will look it up and I will change my outro if I've been wrong about it all this time. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.